You're really building here already. Everybody expects a great game. Why is it that the Munster Hurling Championship is so special?
You know, it's hard to put your finger on why it's sport, but like you said, there's you know, in the square in Thurles and coming up past all the pubs full and so on, there's just an atmosphere like no other game. I think it, even for atmosphere, surpasses All Ireland final day. It's really, really a special day, and the great memories hopefully for all the minors and seniors playing out here today.
Absolutely. Well, Richard, you have some great memories as well. You also had to bridge a gap. It wasn't quite 39 years, 16 years when you got your hands on the trophy in 1987. What can you remember of that?
Well, I suppose it's such a long time ago now. Yeah, I certainly have a lot of memories of it. We did a drawing game here against Ger, the lads here in Thurles, the previous Sunday. And Killarney was just an incredible occasion. I know it's one of those games, I suppose, when an awful lot of people said they were there, but I don't actually weren't there because couldn't get into the ground. But went to extra time. I mean, very, very high scoring, but just sheer relief when the thing was over that we actually had finally broken the hoodoo and beaten Cork.
And it was one of those real classic games. Ger, you were on the losing end, I'm afraid, that day. Does it make it any sort of consolation, the fact that it is considered one of the classics?
Not at all, Joanne, not really. When you lose, there's no consolation really. Like, you know, we were 87. You know, first year we had won in 86 and we were going back to try to retain our trophy, and I suppose looking back at it was our first year without Jimmy Barry. He had retired after 86, and you know, they were classic games, but at the end of the day we look back at it, you know, you'd be disappointed that you didn't win it. But I suppose having been part of the occasion and the celebrations, it's great to look back and have those memories. But
you did have lots of success, and you were captain in 1985 for 4 in a row. How special is that, and how much does it rate with all your other success?
That rates very highly, you know, to captain Cork to win any national competition, and rates very, very highly. And as the lads said, Munster final day is a very special day, fantastic occasion, great tradition, and I hope they continue it.
Well, more men trying to get their hands on the cup today. I'm going to get a quick prediction from each of you before we go. Ger?
Can I be neutral and stay on the fence, Joanne? I sit on the fence. I think I give Waterford the right chance. I think, you know, they have a great record of playing in here. They love playing in Thurles. They have a good record in recent years against Tip. You know, if you want to punt, maybe go with Waterford, but probably my heart says Tip.
Richard, one word?
Sure, it has to be Tip, for God's sake.
And Virgil?
Yeah, I think I won't go against me own. I'll stick with Waterford, Joanne.
OK, well, we have a split decision down here pitch side, and we don't have long to wait before we find out which one of them is right.
Thanks very much indeed, Joanne. Well, it's time to get a word from the rival managers ahead of the big match. Liam Sheedy is the Tipperary manager, Davy Fitzgerald, the man in charge of Waterford, and they've been talking again to Joanne Cantwell.
Well, Liam, is everybody fit and as selected?
Yeah, all looking forward to the game. You know, it's a great atmosphere here in Thurles, just after coming in here now. Great crowd here, and yeah, it's just really looking forward to the day. Preparations have gone well, and lads are matched for action. We've done a good warm-up, so all systems go.
I'm sure you're fed up of listening to people talk about how you've let big leads slip in your 2 previous games to date. But nonetheless, is it a big concern for you today?
No, to be honest with you, you know, when we've hurled very well. And yes, we've had, you know, any team that you play, when you're playing a team like the calibre of Clare and Cork, they're going to have periods of dominance. And I felt the last day the periods of dominance were less. So, as I said, Waterford will have their periods of dominance today. And at the end of the day, once we come out on top, if it's a point or two, we'll be more than happy.
Well, Davy, Stephen Malumphey was due to undergo a late fitness test today. How did that turn out?
Yeah, Stephen will be playing anyhow, so we'll see how he gets on out there. Hopefully he'll pull through okay. He's a big player for us, so we're just delighted to have him out there.
Is it a huge boost, especially considering the fact that Ken won't be out there today?
Yeah, missing Ken McGrath is massive, you know, but these boys have got to stand up and be counted, and that's what we've got to do today. I suppose a lot of people have us wrote off, but never say never.
Missing Ken, but you do have John Milan bang in form. Do you expect that there is a lot expected from him today, and also that he's likely to get some extra attention today?
Sure, listen, naturally enough, if you're a Tipperary, you'll be doing that, you know. He played well the last 2. It's very hard to expect him to do it again today, but knowing John, it won't be from the lack of trying anyhow, you know.
That's for sure, Davy. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's what the 2 managers have to say about today's game. Tomas Mulcahy, Davy Fitz, of course, came into that Waterford job in the middle of the campaign, if you like, last year. Now, at that stage, you thought Waterford were going nowhere. Then they got to an All-Ireland final. Now they're into a Munster final. So he seems to have given them another little bit of a kick, if you like. Even though, although we've been saying earlier, you know, they are a team that have been around the road for a while.
They have been on the road for a while, I suppose, Michael, as you mentioned, but like Davy is passionate about the game. Certainly he would have brought a different dimension to their training and their technique and stuff like that below there as well. But at the end of the day, they are basically the same bunch of players, maybe 1 or 2 new guys coming in. I suppose the big talking points realistically have been kind of placing of the team and maybe not starting Dan Shanahan, and why isn't he in the frame. Some people say he's a hip injury, some people say he's not fit enough, but to me, I mean, certainly a man of his calibre should be in that Waterford team. I mean, if I had my way, he'd be starting at number 14 14 from the outset today, because they will need everything against Tipperary today, you know. And you look at it on the other side, and you mentioned that their All-Ireland semi-final win against Tipperary last year. We mentioned last night about Galway. I mean, that they got to really show us what they're about. It's exactly the same for Tipperary. I mean, they took an awful lot of flack last year. They were out-muscled, they were outgunned by Waterford in that All-Ireland semi-final, when they thought maybe all they had to do was turn up, win the match, and they were in All-Ireland final. So there's an awful lot at stake for Tipperary here. I mean, we've seen the success of minor under 21. It's now delivery time. They've had massive preparation. Tipperary or Kilkenny in the league final, coming into Cork then in the championship. That's the best championship preparation that you can actually get for a Munster final.
Especially, I suppose, during a day like today for Tipperary. Now, the players and managers will tell you that the special celebration here doesn't matter, but it does create a buzz around the thing that you can't ignore.
Well, it creates a massive buzz, first of all, but it also creates pressure. There's pressure on Tipperary to win today. They're at home, 125th anniversary of GA, so being founded here in Thurles, so they are under pressure. Now, they're under pressure for another reason too, because take the 3 games they have so far. Started brilliantly. Against Kilkenny, ran away with the first half. Against Cork, same thing. Against Clare, same thing. And then the fade out after that. Now, the big question today is, what happens if they go behind?
Yes.
We haven't seen them yet in any game go behind in any game. And it could happen today, because Waterford love this field, and Waterford will start, they'll start on fire, Waterford will be, and they love playing here. They're a very fast team, and there are signs, I think. The second day against Limerick, there were signs that Seamus Prendergast has come back into form. Jack Kennedy came on, he played very well. Owen Kelly had a much better game. Now, Milan had dragged them as far as that. But when a team is on the up, then you come into a Munster final, maybe that's when you'll reach your peak. So Waterford could be towards that peak today.
Waterford play a very open kind of a game as well.
Very
so,
open.
I mean, if Tip are playing the open game that we've seen in the past, it will suit Waterford as well, sir.
Exactly.
Cyril, there's the aforementioned Dan Shanahan. Just maybe a quick word about Dan. As yourself and Ger, as 2 managers, you know this situation, you know what goes on in the camp, but people outside are saying, why isn't he playing? And then if something goes wrong, they say, well, that was a stupid decision to leave him.
He has lost a bit of form, to be fair. You couldn't pick him up form, but as the boys said there, he is a big game player. Now, he could have a big impact coming in, and I'd expect him to come on the edge of the square. Now, Waterford are trying to rebuild the team. Like, they have a few new lads coming on. The likes of Noel Connors, minor last year, stepped into cornerback. Jamie Nagle is on up to the wing forward. Richie Foley is looking at gone. So they are creeping a few new lads in, because the other boys have been around a long time. But for me, Michael, if Tipperary are to be seen